In this lesson, we'll learn how to modify an object's behavior along a path. Continuing from the previous lesson, what we saw is that our ship was traveling way too slow. And it'd also be nice to add a bit of banking. So let's go ahead and work on those things. We'll grab our group and we'll head over to our graph editor. Okay, so what we'll see here is just one function curve. However, this represents all attributes that are tied down by the motion path system. So you can see that's translation and rotation. So that's great because we just have one F curve to tweak instead of 6. Alright, so what we can do here is speed up the animation by adjusting our N key. So let's go ahead and grab that. Instead of frame 300, let's go ahead and speed this up some. Let's say to about frame 70. Alright, so at that point we can adjust our end range to the same, 70. When we hit play, you'll see that the ship is traveling much faster than it comes to a stop. Now if you would like that, if you would like it to kind of slow out first, then speed up and then slow down at the end, by all means leave the F curve the way it is. However, if you'd like more of a constant speed, let's say if the aircraft was already in flight, well then what you'd want to do with the F curve selected is to just go ahead and set the interpolation to linear or a constant speed. So now when we hit play, that's exactly what we get, a constant speed across the path. Alright, so that's one problem taken care of. How about banking? Well, we have a few ways we can do that. If we were to head over to our attribute editor, and just FYI, the hotkey for that is Control A, or of course you can always use your attribute editor tab. We can go back to the motion path, and now we can start to adjust our bank settings from here. So if we go ahead and enable that, what it's basically doing is it's looking at the curvature of your path and it's trying to keep your orientation aligned to the curvature. So that's basically what banking does. That's how we get that tilt when using this. However, in some cases, the bank doesn't work the best way. You can see we're getting a little bit of banking, and we could always use our bank scale to increase the amount of banking. So I brought it to about a value of 5. And there's that cyclic warning I was mentioning to you earlier about. But again, nothing to be concerned with when working with motion paths. Alright, so you can see, yes, there's a little bit of banking. However, what if we wanted something a bit more noticeable? Well, in order to get that, what you can always do is use your front twist attribute. Let's go ahead and head over to the channel box. We'll grab the motion path node, and notice we can access a few of those from here. So you can see the side twist, we'll adjust the z-axis, the up twist, your twist, and then we have the front twist for the banking control we need. Alright, so let's go ahead and work with that. If we were to go to frame 1, we can go ahead and set an initial keyframe. And since the aircraft is already in flight, it might be a good idea to add a slight tilt. So I'll go to the front twist and just kind of tilt it a little bit more. Not too much. And now we can go ahead and right click and choose key selected. Now as we start to move forward, as we come across that first curve, then we'd want to add more banking. So at about frame 20, we can go there and twist the ship a little bit more, right click, and set another keyframe. So there's our first twist looking nice. If you'd like to keep track of your function curve, feel free to scroll down. Here's the motion path, and here is the front twist. The U value is the path animation itself. So our front twist is what we'll want to adjust. I'll go ahead and frame in on it, pressing the F key. Or of course you can use the A key to view the entire function curve. Alright, so at this point, we can now start to move forward. We'll probably want the ship to now rotate in the opposite direction. So let's say we go to about frame 50, and we can go ahead and do just that. So we'll have it bank to the opposite side. Great. So here's the behavior we get. And then we can have it cushion out as we get to the very end on frame 70. So it's starting to straighten out a bit, but we don't want it completely straight because that will look a little off. So let's go ahead and have it straighten up just slightly. And we'll set our last keyframe. So let's go ahead and take a look at this as we hit play. Now we have some really neat banking along our path. Beautiful stuff. So you can see how fun it is to work with motion paths. All right, great. Well, now that we have this neat animation, it'd be nice to add some offsets to it to polish the animation further. So in the next lesson, we will work with AutoKey and learn how to add those offsets.